More news this Friday. It's been 10 years since the most brazen of militant attacks in Russia's Caucasus, an event that triggered a decade-long anti-terrorist operation. The attackers had hoped to establish a joint Islamic rule, but instead were met with resistance from locals and the state.
Halimat is telling this story about her only son she lost 10 years ago. He infiltrated the Dagestani militants' campaign and pretended to join them in their fight. But his bravery in going undercover soon resulted in his death. He managed to seize a gun and killed 4 extremists and wounded 3, but then a gun was turned on him. It happened in the yard of their house. The woman says she would like to meet the killer.
You took my son, so give me yours, and I will do the same to them.
Hadji Murad was only 18 years old when gunmen led by the notorious Chechen field commander Shamil Basayev attacked Dagestan 10 years ago. So we are at the place where it all started 10 years ago. In the early hours of the morning, the militants came through a rough track in the mountains behind me. Without a single shot being fired, the extremists took control of these 4 villages down there. Waking up to see the armed men on the streets, locals were unsure how to behave. This was an attempt to establish an Islamic confederation on the territory of Chechnya and Dagestan. A multinational band of militants from across the globe was challenging Russia. Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin immediately came to Botlich, the center of all the trouble. It had been less than a month since he was appointed, but his mood was uncompromising.
We'll pursue the terrorists everywhere. If we catch them in the toilet, we'll waste them right there.
This moment marked a breaking point in Russia's attitude towards the militants. The message was clear: no more negotiations with terrorists. Fierce battles followed with militants who were receiving support from abroad.
It might have seemed a smaller local conflict, but in reality, the integrity of the Russian Federation was at stake. And the crucial moment for the victory over the multinational terrorists was when Dagestani people came out to fight for their republic and for Russia in general.
10 years ago, this was a closed enclave in Dagestan. The banner on the road informed you that only Sharia law was effective in the area. Any policeman who came in would be killed. This house was the headquarters of a Dagestani radical leader. Today, that man is in prison. The only thing the extremists didn't anticipate was the fierce opposition from the local people, which proved once again they were against Dagestan being torn away from Russia. Basayev's campaign here was seen even in his native Chechnya as a fatal mistake, which led to a bloody conflict and years of counter-terrorist operations. And even though 10 years on, violence continues in the region, officials say there is no force capable of repeating such a large-scale attack. Naida Azizova, RT, from Karamahi, Dagestan.